go with lifesteal being a little bit more consistent in the meta. I mean, I think it's actually going to go back further than that. But you got blink daggers of the lifestealer just so you could catch up and always be on top of heroes, or you always coupled with someone that could take you with them. And then you could use your infest. But you have to then use it aggressively, and it's not one that's defensive. I can get my life back and come back into the fight a little bit stronger. But the Viper just means you can kite the lifestealer more than anything else.
Sure. I'm still a bit concerned that the Storm Spirit Lifestealer bomb onto the Gyrocopter is going to shut him down pretty heavily.
Because there's no way to send him back too.
Yeah,
with that disruptor band out, you got no way to control it apart from Ogre Magi. And you're not going to say cold feet.
I like the Clockwork ban out from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Clockwork would have had a really rough time this game. Like, it's very dangerous to run him against Gyrocopter and up against Viper because they both were like, okay, we'll just kill you.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's a solid initiator. It would be a very sacrificial Clockwork game. That's for sure if they did go for it.
Well, unless they thought, you know what, maybe the Clockwork could just play a defensive lane on... Because I'm still wondering if this Gyro, AA, and Ogre end up on top.
Yeah, I know. I think
you could run the Viper in the middle, the Viper on the bottom lane, depending who the offlaner is. And you still got the other potential. In fact, it's going to be a Bat Rider.
I don't particularly like NiP's lineup unless they do run an aggro tri-lane because, I feel like the Gyrocopter is going to be shut down, so your mid-game to late-game carry is going to have a rough time against all that. Now they have another lockdown here on the Bat Rider.
You're going to hate me for saying it, man, but Throat Ranger would be really nice for MVP right now.
You know, it's not a bad hero here. It's still a bit too susceptible to, like, the Lifesteal Storm Spirit bombs. I think I want to see something a little bit more durable, but I do think you need to see another carry, semi-carry. I don't think Viper makes up for the Gyrocopter. They run an aggro tri-lane that put Viper mid or bottom, and then they run some other pseudo mid-game oriented carry just to make sure that they're dominant.
The reason why I flagged her is actually more of a distraction than anything else. So you use the bomb to kill off the Throat Ranger, then the Viper and the Gyrocopter have all the space created, and the laning presence is still going to be there with her aura. So you run that aggro tri-lane with the Ancient Apparition buff up, with the Drone aura buff up. Things are nice, but instead they go more manly, and we'll get the Axe pick up now for NiP.
So how does this mean our lanes are going to go? They should try and match up.
Can you put the Axe up against the Bat Rider and still feel confident?
I think they still run a defensive tri-lane here on the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas because the Axe won't have a very favorable 1-versus-1 matchup no matter what happens.
Problem is with the Axe, like he can get completely destroyed in that top lane if he's not careful. He can open wounds, stuns, and paralyzing cast. Yeah. It's very easy to kill off that Axe.
No, I think he would have to go jungle at a certain point in time. My biggest problem here is going to be the fact that like the Axe doesn't win up against the Bat Rider, doesn't win up against the Storm Spirit, right? So while the Viper would have a good matchup, I'm not sure what else they would be able to do.
Let's go to the game, so we didn't have to watch Cap having his legs up on the desk.
What's wrong with that, Toby? We're getting down and comfy here at the studio.
I swear it's just our production guys having... Yep. Huh. Let's move on. So at NiP...
Don't flame the production guys.
No, we can't.
They'll cut to the camera.
Hard. They've been working hard, and our studio wasn't blowing up over the weekend. So I'm feeling very, very happy with our first attempt at a LAN final.
I'm saying they're going to cut to your camera when you're like picking your nose in the middle of the cast or something. You know, they have ways to getting to you, Toby.
Just pick it and sniff it.
All right, so they are going to run the aggro tri-lane. Axe is going to be bottom, but there is going to be Burden United running an aggro tri-lane. They are going to be putting Gyrocopter as their mid. So the 1v1 mid up against the Storm Spirit, I feel pretty favorable about that. I think it's better against the Storm Spirit, at least, than it was against the Queen of Pain. Namely because Storm Spirit's attack animation and attack range aren't as good as the Queen of Pain, so which gives your missile spamming perhaps a little bit more value. Plus, generally speaking, Storm Spirit, if he plays a little bit too aggressively at some point or something, you can catch him out with the Rocket Barrage. While Quap, you can't do so.
Interested to see how long Soshka's capable of surviving on this top lane, because it will be the aggro from NiP. Unison Farm, actually, they're switching this up now. Unison Farm's actually moving out. So he's headed up towards the top lane. You've still got Hanskin up here. He came up here primarily to plant down the Observer Ward, which was scouted out by the Dire Observer Ward. And that puts Limp in towards the mid lane, so it is actually a mid lane Gyrocopter. So Era can run the safe lane Viper with the help of Seal Kid here.
Yeah, I think I like this setup, right? They want to be able to contest Burden United's tri-lane, because they're running a life stealer and they've got a ranged farmer in their tri lane, they've got a natural advantage anyway, plus the Ancient Apparition chilling touch just dips you over the edge. The Gyrocopter will win the 1 versus 1 against Storm Spirit, I think, pretty heavily. And then that just leaves the question mark of Jonas Fan versus the Bat Rider.
There's actually a lot of trouble right now. That paralyzing cast caused them some problems, and well, there's enough damage to find the kill. And they may even be able to find a secondary one. There's no open wounds. It was Feast that was leveled up here by Necroman, but that means he can dive underneath the tower, and it will be, in fact, that. Burden United with a double kill. They're TPing in the Viper, but he's arrived too late to get any kind of slow. And Hanskin also lost vision of Come With Me for a moment. And,
well,
BU run away.
Congratulations, you got the chance to be able to contest the try versus try, but it's off to a really bad start, feeding away both First Blood and a secondary kill. A NiP, they should still be able to recover, but that was a really bad start. You could see Burden United are not going to try and press their luck. They're actually going to rotate their lane up to top and just continue to dodge NiP as best as possible. Yeah,
they could actually turn this into a potential gank, but what they don't know is this Observer Ward. Actually, that Observer Ward, it doesn't give the vision properly. I can see it's up into the lane, and now they do actually see the Live Stealer. But with Sticky Napalm, now up to 5 stacks, with an open wounds, they can slow down Unison Farm enough that they can just burn him out. So there's now 6 Napalm stacks on him. Underneath the tower, the Ogmajai is forced to TP in, but that's still 7 stacks now, about to become 8. He's got stick charges available, and Soshka, too deep, way too deep, will end up dying to Ogmajai underneath the tier 1 tower. Building 8 stacks was enough, but 8 stacks was not enough.
I'm sorry, that was super questionable for them to go for that dive. I mean, I thought the whole entire idea of them rotating Lifestealer up to top lane was the right idea. Don't press your luck. You've already gained an advantage. And then they go for that dive like that. You know how much time that is for a support? You can communicate. Hey, they're going to dive me. You've got like 15 seconds for a support to get a TP and TP in at the right time. I didn't see how that was going to go well for them.
And because of that, now Axe finds levels. They will be moving in towards the mid lane, so the rotations still continue. Limp into the tree line. He already let the Rocket Barrage off, try and drop Sing Sing down as low as he can, and the damage is still there. Sing Sing just managed to find the maximum amount of range for it all.
Yeah. The Storm Spirit just kind of the perfect hero to deal with that hiding place, just because the Remnant gives you that vision now. Soshka forced away.
There's not enough damage there.
Yeah, they force him to use Firefly, which is good enough. It means the Ancient Apparition can solo zone him out while the Firefly is down. Because without Firefly, obviously the Bat Rider has no offensive capabilities to challenge that support.
Necroman's having a hard time getting in on the lane. He's trying to pull the aggro back close towards his tier 1 tower. At the same time, now Hanskin's forced away. The paralyzing cast will fly. There is a magic missile as well as a wave of terror. But Come With Me is unable to get both off.
Sing Sing taking a lot of damage from Limp here in this middle lane. Sing Sing doing the correct play against the missile spam, trying to keep yourself as close to your creeps.
Top lane, is there enough damage? There's a follow-up stun. Actually, no, we can't. The rage was up, which means there was no chance for that Fire Blast.
These dual lanes are really effective, though, for Ninjas and Pyjamas. I like this change-up quite a bit. They easily zone out the Bat Rider at bottom lane. The Axe and Ogre Magi combination is tanky enough that these low damage supports can't actually kill them. They both have really high armor.
He's running him. That Rocket Barrage is still about to do some level of damage to Sing Sing. The stun from Hanskin's not going to be enough. Sing Sing's burning up a little bit, but the Gyrocopter is still down for the count.
Burden United playing to their strengths, which is essentially like if the static laning phase is going to be advantageous for NiP, we have way better ganking supports, and that's really being proven with these constant rotations from Vengeful Spirit in particular.
Got to keep it up, or else NiP's forcing to get back into the mix. Right now, I'm looking at the Viper and the Axe sitting almost at the top net worth. We've got so many 17s, it's not even funny. But it's the fact that Era's getting all the space in the world now to find his farm on bottom lane, and that Unison Farm, without having to have extra support on the top lane, is capable of surviving and leeching the experience out and not making it easy for Necroman. He's caught back up again in the CS, so he's found some space for this too. But things are leveling out a lot more after BU was able to get such a good early game advantage.
And especially with the advantage that Sing Sing now has over the Gyrocopter, because he played the lane right, plus the rotation, super helpful. He now has level 6 and is going to be a big threat to the Gyrocopter. It's at this point that Sing Sing takes a commanding lead in this 1v1.
Hanskin. Necroman's going to move down on him. They already started with a sticky napalm, so he's pretty well slowed. But they're not going to commit the open wounds. They have the potential for a paralyzing cask with malediction and the whole shebang, but there's an Ogre Magi with 7 armor and a whole bunch of stick charges.
Yeah, a bit of a bad idea. If you take a look at the vision, thanks to this ward here from Ninjas of Pyjamas in the middle lane, it does see the Vengeful Spirit rotation into mid and make sure that Limp does not get caught out by that one. Otherwise, he would have died to Sing Sing jumping in, to Sable, into the Magic Missile. Nice pick-off, though. They actually going to win this fight. Necroman, oh! I thought maybe with just another spin, Hanskin might be able to finish off the Lifestealer, but not successful, and in the end, it does go the way of Burden United.
Yeah. So a 1-1 trade-off. Sorry, again, being a little bit late in the camera, but we won't be late for this one. Come On Me's going to move over, so they might be able to find the opening anyway. Rage doesn't have the mana for the open wounds, however, because he went for the Rage. Well, Necromancer going to retreat back out as quickly as he possibly can. They forced the TP up from Era. So Era moved all the way up to the top lane. He's going to move into the middle lane now, and this buys time and space for CLK, which is so needed. So desperately needed. They need him to have level 6 and potentially more than 2 consumables and a stick.
And in the end, the rotation to top lane is okay because Era needs to take over the middle lane. They can't have the Gyrocopter there. He's just too squishy. Plus, Era needs levels. So it both benefits the Gyro and Viper for them to switch it up. But Era's going to go down.
Nice jump. Great stuns. And Soshka also on top of it. And NiP, they're getting outclassed right now by Burden United. They're moving perfectly, and if they can keep this up, then we could be looking at a VG Gaming versus BU.
Yeah, that was very surprising, to say the least. You expected VG Gaming to go on to the finals and Burden United to be the first one out, but at this rate, with the way that game number 3 is going, Burden United are building quite an advantage. They're really just taking advantage of the fact that the supports can't do anything. They can't rotate, and they're pretty poor supports to TP in. The Ogre Magi is okay, one single target stun is alright, but the Ancient Apparition certainly isn't going to do anything for you when it comes to tower diving.
Yep. Right now, Ancient Apparition just has one objective on his mind, and that's all. Like, Screw being there for his team, he needs to hit level 6. If he doesn't, they're not going to get anything, as Unison Farm, I don't know if he's looking to come in from behind, but he has to get down the bottom lane. Come on me, the homing missile is on him. The Steel Kid's already dropped down very, very low. The Vortex is slowing him down, and it's up to BU if they want to try and fight this. We've already got the Firefly being triggered off here from the Batrider, and Sing Sing's not sure he wants to be here as well. They're just going to leave Come With Me for death. Like, they're not even going to help him out here.
Really good restraint.
Which is the right choice. Day number 1, BU would have turned around and said, ha, we'll save you. This time, they actually leave him.
Yeah, I think that was really good restraint being displayed there from Burden United to choose to not go for that attempted save and try and fight. They're already pretty far ahead. Again, no need to risk it.
Yeah, let's move back, farm it up. Make sure that Soshka doesn't die as well. Like, he's already had 1 death to his name. We still don't have this Blink Dagger on the Batrider. Maybe that's the weakest link here of BU. That their initiation doesn't really exist yet unless you've got Sing Sing burning a lot of mana, which you can't really do at this point of the game. Yes, Soul Ring plus Tread Switch will give you a lot to work with, but is that going to be enough? See, there it is. Soul Ring, Tread Switch, jumping on Seal Kid. He jumps in again. You're down at 1/3 of your mana, and actually it's still going to be enough. Even a secondary jump down to Limp, the cooldown will be there, and he has more than enough to go in. Sing with a double kill. I shall eat my words, sir.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think Sing Sing had a good enough time in the middle lane that he's going to be a proficient initiator. Plus, add on the fact that, yes, Batrider is missing his Blink Dagger, but so is the Axe. And the Axe, it's so much more essential for him to have his Blink Dagger because he's the only initiator for NiP. And their whole entire lineup is dependent on that initiation. If he doesn't get a call, there is no cooldown. If there's no cooldown, there's not enough follow-up damage from the supports, the Ancient Apparition, the Viper, to be able to dish out their damage. So it's all reliant on Jonas Samfan at this point. That's why he's full-time jungling. He can't afford to show himself in lane because if he gets ganked and they slow down that Blink Dagger even further, I don't think NiP have a shot at coming back.
Oh, there's another jump. It's on the Era, and Batrider's right behind him, but Sing Sing, he's got enough mana to finish this one off, or does he? Now in comes Hanskin. He stuns over on Sing Sing, but that's a fight into the Firefly, while Lasso, it's a bubble hit for Soshka. He doesn't want to do it. Attempted TP out, not going to be successful. Oh, there's that Blink Dagger being delayed even further.
Yeah, and that's really helpful. 1, Era survives. 2, they get the support some experience, particularly needed on Seal Kid, because again, gotta get that level 6. I wonder what our Witch Doctor is.
Bottom lane, they're jumping off the limb. Sing Sing had a haste rune, so he didn't have to jump that far. cops a fair amount of Rocket Barrage. I think Witch Doctor's hoping he can get himself a solo kill. There were two very low heroes. He's got Paralyzing Cask as well as Death Ward. That may just be enough to get one.
He shows himself. Era's actually going to challenge him here.
Do it.
Wow.
Do it. Do it.
Era,
He's dead. He's actually dead. There's enough damage
it's
there.
a level 3 Maledict.
It is a level 3. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, no, he's going to
not.
heal up. He's good. The damage isn't going to be enough on that last tick. So I guess that was a good call by Era to challenge him like that because he had the vision, right? He knew that My Nuts was level 6. That he was coming in with a Death Ward. He challenged him. He does manage to get away. Just barely, but it worked. Risky as all hell, though.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sing Sing is just content to do whatever the hell he wants. Without an Axe Blink Dagger, there's nothing to shut him down, really.
But that Axe is now at 2k. He just find himself up a nice little stack.
Yeah, they've got to have Jonas Sampan make some big plays. I said he was the biggest playmaker on the team for Ninjas and Pyjamas, and he has to show it in this game.
My Nuts is in trouble. Multicast is just the ignite that's slowing him down. Era's trying to get in behind him too, and My Nuts Paralyzing Cast will slow these guys down, so Necroman can try and fight. Calmly with a stun means Necroman doesn't have to be affected too much by this Viper Strike, aka the Kite ability, and Era, the Earn Charge, is ticking him down at the moment. Hanskin, the swap, actually going to cancel the TP out from him as well. So it might be a 1-for-1 trade for the Wish to die beforehand, but Sing Sing now comes into the fight again, and Hanskin will drop. There are 4 heroes chasing him down, most the Storm Spirit to get the kill. And that's going to be his first Oblivion Staff. And this Orc is going to be rapidly approaching the Sing.
Obviously, it's a lot easier to just give up a Vengeful Spirit, but there's a big difference here. Burn United, they gave up the Vengeful Spirit in that one pick-off, right? They're just like, that's fine. You can have that kill. Go ahead. Here, Hanskin sticks around and tries to help out his core and just ends up feeding away another kill. It's something that Ninjas and Pyjamas, obviously you don't want to give up that Era pick-off, but there was nothing he could have done in that situation anyway. So him sticking around was a major loss there for NiP. When you could have...
Long jump, man.
Yeah,
long jump. It's an H-bomb. Since he's got a regeneration room, which is why he's being so frivolous with that mana usage of his, and they do jump into the cooldown, but there goes your gyrocopter.
Yeah. Earlier they could have just said, okay, it's a Viper trade-off and we're getting some farm elsewhere, but they're losing too many of these heroes. Jonas Sampan, this is his time to strike, though. He's got a Blink Dagger. The first reveal on a Bat Rider, it's something, I guess. They're going to shut down the Blink Dagger, hopefully.
Hey, nope.
Maybe not.
Nope. It would have been critical kill as
Jonas
well.
Sampan, can he intercept? Oh, he was going for it. He was going for the Blink, too, but he hit the fire first.
Now Soshka will drop.
Good pick-off.
Yeah. It's actually really big on him because he was 2k.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't move back that far, however. So not losing that much gold for the death, but it slows the Blink Dagger more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, it delays it by almost 2 minutes, essentially, right? The loss of gold plus the death timer.
Yep. But at the same time now, BU.
Time to keep going. They got to get Sing Sing.
Yep, there's your jump. Big call, double call into the Rocket Barrage with the call down. Burden United, there goes your 2 in the mid, plus the Bat Rider on the bottom. And these are the mistakes they cannot afford to make. Understandably,
Burn United go, okay, the Axe just showed himself at bottom lane. We can push in middle a little bit, but Jonas Sampan quick on the rotation, and he's got to be. I said he had to be making all the plays. He's doing it so far in the first 2 pickoffs, but they're still far enough behind. He's got to continue this trend for at least 2 or 3 more kills.
I'm wondering if BU didn't actually note the fact that Blink Dagger was on the Axe. Because he didn't make it move like he had the Blink Dagger. It was just a simple walk-in. So potentially they weren't aware of it. That would explain their positioning in the mid.
They do have the mech that is coming up for Era, but it's very slow. Particularly on a Viper who was in a, I'm going to call it safe lane farming position.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't actually in the safe lane, but...
He's still a 1-for-3 Viper.
Yeah.
It's been a rough time for him.
Axe is actually going to go for the Force Staff here. So a second mobility item.
They're jumping the wrong way. They're actually jumped completely the wrong way. They were smoked up. Sing Sing was the man, the ball lightning down. After Koami moves very aggressively, the TP support did arrive. But they've got no jump. The Axe is still missing, so they got no control factor over on Sing Sing, so they can't kill him.
Yeah, their control factor right now is like Hanskin running in and getting the stun before Sing Sing reacts, which is not going to happen.
Yeah. The Ice Blast also too late.
That's really only possible. Like you saw, Sing Sing reacted fast enough, and that you only have a chance of that happening during nighttime. Yonasapon's going to get picked off. He may lose his Tranquil Boots.
This is, well, he hasn't picked him up yet. Did they deny him? Unison Farm is going to die here.
Yeah, they grab the Tranquil Boots. Yonasapan loses that to Necroman. That is such a heavy pickoff there. Yonasapan, not only does it delay up his Force Staff, but it also kills his boots.
Yep. So he's gonna rebuild.
I mean, at this point, you don't build Tranquil Boots again. I think you just get regular boots,
treads.
but it's still another 450 gold kind of down the drain. That would have gone into the Force Staff otherwise. Oh dear. I don't know why you drop Tranquil Boots this late into the game, honestly. It can only go wrong. Right?
Especially up against like a Storm Spirit lineup or a Batrider lineup. And then you got both of them in this. And he couldn't see it coming. There was no observer wards for it. Now he's up on top with a grand total movement speed of 290. But it's still going to allow him to get the blink in. The call as well. Needs more spins. Minot's going to pop here. There goes your Culling Blade, and that's your movement speed away. But he's dying. The Malediction's still going to be there. But Sing Sing with the Ignite, he's going to jump once more. Survives the Shatter as we actually have a disconnection from the Axe.
Oh, if they'd gotten a multicast on Sing Sing, they could have gotten that kill. But unfortunately, the multicast procced with the blast instead. So miss out on that extra kill, and they basically give away an Axe for a Witch Doctor. Not worth it for Ninjas and Pyjamas, that's for sure.
We do with that computer crash inside the NiP area, as you see that screen now rebooting. Luckily, it shouldn't take too long to reboot and just get themselves back inside the game. We had a similar problem yesterday, but it was 2 minutes, I think, was the downtime. It was actually quite quick to get back in. So it shouldn't be too long before we start again.
So, I mean, taking a look at net worth-wise, 3,500 gold lead for Burn United right now. A 2,500 experience lead. Nothing that is insurmountable, but it's still a significant lead, that's for sure. Item-wise, the pickups, Burn United, they've got Storm Spirit, who's going to be going for an Orchid, already has one Oblivion Staff. Sakshka finished up his Blink Dagger, as we saw. Come With Me is actually going to go for a Medallion of Courage that can lead into the Solar Crest later on, but Medallion of Courage is important now because they don't have any heroes that can do Roshan without that minus armor, right?
Yep.
Vengeful Spirit is their best Roche-taking mechanism, whether it's through the minus armor that he has plus the Medallion. Should make that fairly easy. Lifestealer going to be going for the S and Y build, as he's got both Phase Boots, Drums, and then almost the Sange, though. A very race car style for him.
Kind of like that kind of build though, but he needs it too. I'm just looking at BU, like the fact you bring up Roshan too is a critical point. What happens now for NiP when they keep falling behind? Yes, your Axe was able to get an initiation off, but we're noticing now he can't do much more unless he gets that Culling Blade attack, because then there's no movement speed, he can't move to another target, or potentially get out of trouble to come back in again. If you get Negative Immortal onto someone like Sing Sing, he can get massively over-aggressive onto everybody. Just jump in, kill them off. You've got that Orchid, so you've got control factors over on a lot of different people. You could just take out the Ogre, so where's your stuns then? And if the Axe can't hit his call, then you're free to move around. And even then, with Negative Immortal, you've got like 2 times worth of Storm Spirit. And that's a lot to deal with. And I'm wondering if NiP is up to the challenge.
I'm not sure if they are. To be honest, I mean, this is a really surprising... but the way I'm looking at this game... Wait.
So what might have actually caused the problem was the fact that Windows just updated for him. And it automatically restarted this computer. Smooth.
Well... Want to maybe get our analyst thoughts on this game so far?
Oh, that's how you're... I was wondering what you're doing. It's like, are you blaming Durka for the Windows update?
Yeah.
This is my fault. What have I done now?
Durka, what did you do? No, I figured that, since we have this pause, we might as well, What do you think about the game so far?
I think one of the biggest things open move, going to the jungle. Hey, we're back into the game, guys.
Yes, we are.
Fast.
Straight back over. So
Well.
we're all good.
I thought we were going to have like another 5 minutes or so of this, but apparently not.
As I said, man, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We've got the tech crew here. The second something goes wrong, Christian, who's our head of tech here, just jumps in, fixes everything, we're all good to go.
They know all about how to make Windows updates.
Well, it
really
wasn't even,
fast.
like, yeah, that's it. Like, all we gotta do is update Windows. Oh, that's
Dire's
challenging.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the funny thing is he would have actually had to say postpone that for like 4 hours. Someone else could deal with this. This game will be over by then. VG Game will come in and set the computer.
VG Gaming.
Yeah, that's supposed to be what it is. Just have the computer restart in 4 hours and VG Game will never know what hit them. Yep.
Smoke out from Ninjas in Pyjamas. See if they can find a pick off at bottom lane. They don't have their jumping hero, which makes this smoke very unlikely to work
Yeah.
through the trees.
But isn't this like the second time we've seen this happen as well? Whereas it's a gank from NiP which relies on Hanskin walking in and getting the stun. This can't function. This won't work.
Yeah, I really would have preferred to see the Earthshaker or the Sand King for NiP, or the Lion. I mean, some sort of jumping hero that is able to utilize a Blink Dagger. Then they could prioritize that farm and have someone else besides the Axe, who's forced to be the sole initiator
Dire's bottom
essentially
tower
for NiP.
is under attack.
Well, they're going to force the issue now. So a T1 tower being pushed down by NiP. But it looks like BU have no intention of coming here. Minuts are pushing into the tier 1 tower and mid. The top tier 1 tower actually falls, so the Dire are the first ones to take out the towers. Now fortification will finally be used for the mid tower, but they won't stop this. So you're losing 2 tier 1 towers in mid as well as top to take out a tier 1 tower on bottom, a tier 2 tower as well, but you're committing 5 men to do this while the rest of BU are farming across the map. Like, it almost feels like this is we're losing control, boys. What the hell do we do? Let's just go. We force a fight, we force BU to come to us.
You gotta, I mean, you utilize the tankiness of your Ogre pickup with the Viper having
Storm.
a mech now.
Sing jumping in. He's able to find Steel Kid, dragging him back. So it's not just Orchid available, but Medallion of Courage plus the Wave of Terror. There's just no armor to speak of. So the Ancient Apparition gets picked off, and Soshka's looking for another opening too.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, Era. He tried to get in range of the Witch Doctor for the Viper Strike. Unfortunately for him, the cast bounced back on the second hit, so one was unable to get that pick off. Still, though, I mean, losing the Ancient Apparition, well worth it for NiP to be able to take a couple towers like that. They needed some sort of influx of gold to change this game.
It's so easy with like the buff to open wounds too now for teams to go inside and take Roshan. Like when you got the negative armor which is there from Vengeful Spirit, you're able to dish out the damage because you just spent no
Blast
armor.
is coming in, but I think it's too late.
Yep. They've already leashed out enough life. They're already sitting at maximum. So they burn through it, and they're Sing with the Aegis the Immortal. A full Orchid completed, and we're only 20 minutes into the game. BU have everything they need to win the fights.
I love how ward heavy Burn United are going with this game. The counter ward placed outside of the pit is a particular little help that you're able to see that Ice Blast coming in. So that was a nice little play by them, going in for the Roshan, setting up very well for it with their aggressive vision and even a counter ward. Ninjas in Pyjamas now going to have to fight into an Aegis. This doesn't really leave them many options, right? They wanted a 5-man into towers, but now they have to fight 6 heroes.
Storm Spirit, long jump up, finds Okamajai sitting in the tree line. Gonna Orchid him up so there's no stun, needs a little bit more vision, and well, they're gonna get the stun out. In fact, to pop out from the lifestealer, kill secures. He actually uses infest damage to take the last hit then while doing absolutely nothing. He hitched a ride into Vengeful Spirit.
That's fine. Eventually, he's got to get an Abyssal Blade.
Yeah.
So that way he's got, this is why I was so scared of the Storm Spirits and Lifestealer, that eventually when you get the Abyssal Blade, you basically get the Lifestealer directly on top of the Gyrocopter, and he then Abyssal Blades him, so that even if you do have a BKB on Gyro, it doesn't matter.
Oh, BU, how far do you want to push this lane? My Nuts is holding the middle lane quite comfortably. He's enjoying this space. He's now sitting 1900 away from having his Aghanim Scepter over on this Witch Doctor while hitting a level 11. So a level 2 Death Ward will be available for the next fight. And this Storm Spirit is getting, I'd say, more and more space. The farm's not really progressing for Sing Sing at the moment, because the kills have started to slow down. But it's because they're now giving more space to Lifestealer, who I swear Necroman's holding on to these Tranquil Boots just to mock Unison Farm.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
He hasn't dropped them, and he's taking up an item slot to do it.
He's playing the mental game, Toby. Mental game.
Oh. You know those booties that were yours? They're now mine. Looks like NiP.
they're going to fight over this tier 2 tower. Ninjas and Pyjamas seem to be rotating to try and contest, but Burden United back out. They don't have their Storm Spirits, so no sense in forcing it. He's the one who's got the Aegis. Things overall, I would say that Ninjas and Pyjamas, their best shot to win this game is just pushing it out as late as possible. Originally, I would say they were more focused on mid-game with Era picking up a fast mech and them trying to utilize some early tower advantage to get like the Aghanim's up in the Ancient Apparition, build up the Gyrocopters farm, and just kind of lead the game from there. But they fell too far behind, and now they're going to have to play recovery for the next 20 minutes, I would say.
That's a long time to play recovery, man.
I mean, I really don't see how they'll, like, unless they get really good initiations from Jonas and Pan, I don't think
that's
they win
it.
fights.
I think that's their only choice. If they let this game go longer, you were putting the nail on the head before. It's the live seal with an Abyssal Blade jumping in. You got perfect control from that. You'll have a Bat Rider who will probably even pick up a BKB, so he won't care about Jack all. And then an Aghanim Scepter oldie from the Witch Doctor, who it looks like they're going to be using everything they can to kill him off. Nope, they jump in, and it's over on Come With Me. So he'll go down. They don't get the Culling Blade. Actually miss the timing on that. So there's no buff up for the rest of the team, which allows Sing Sing to really move here. The Cold Feet might be there. Actually, Sing Sing, he has to let himself get hit by that. With the last move back into Death Wall. It's a 2-for-1. Actually, one Aegis Mortal trade-off at the moment. While Necroman, still low, has to infest to try and stay alive a little bit longer. Attacking into Era. They still haven't brought down this fight, but Necroman, he survives through it all. There's actually a full team wipe in favor of BU. And the initial hero, which was the Vengeful Spirit, is the only one that dies.
The Voodoo Restoration, open wounds. Necroman somehow managed to stay alive. It's so bad for them. He's actually not going to go for the SNY. No race car for him. He's going for that newer item, Silver's Edge. Ah, man, this is going to be super rough. That means the Viper is going to be incredibly susceptible to that amount of damage. Now he has his own initiation factor. Like, he doesn't even need to jump inside the Storm Spirit or the Bat Rider.
But does that no spin or no corrosive skin? Good luck. Good luck. They're just going to rip through him. Still crazy to see that the Lifestealer can survive that long when you get the Restoration up. There was also, because the first person they kill off is a Vengeful Spirit. It's only a 1 point up in the aura, but you still lost your 12 points of damage, 12% of damage, when you're not dealing enough damage as it is. This Viper's got a mech and an Ogre Club.
Missing the Culling Blade is unacceptable at this point. Like, you cannot miss that Culling Blade because that is how you stay ahead of the Lifestealer. And we saw Gyrocopter take a good amount of damage because he didn't have that movement speed available. So that was a huge loss. But generally speaking, I don't think NiP can contest Burden United right now anyway. This is why I was saying
they didn't want that type of fight. Like, what they wanted to do was find one person, kill them, move back to farming. Find one person, kill them, move back to farming. That was the plan. And then BU brought everybody. But then again, with NiP, with the position they were trying to fight, like, they had to kill them off instantly and get back because the tier 1 tower, you just TP in more people to try and counterfight them. They're just not expecting that many people to beat you already in the river.
Tier 1 tower is going to fall in the bottom lane. It's going to fall even before the Ice Blast gets here. So that's going to be a miss. At least they get a trade-off. Ninjas and Pyjamas, so I want to go back to talking about them trying to push it late game. I don't think they have better late game, right? But at this point in time, I think the mid game is such a loss for them that they need to somehow be able to just... Anything can happen late game, essentially, and that's their best shot. But they're going to continue on to this tier 2 tower. Burden United not rotating to stop it just yet.
They're coming now. Sing Sing's moving up, so is Soshka, and they just have to TP it, the rest in.
They got the Aghanims on the Witch Doctor. Maybe that's what they wanted to do.
Let the tier 2 tower go then. Sing Sing is in range of this Observer Watch, and this is the pickoff that I would love to have. And I think Sing Sing's realizing... I don't know how, because then he can't see them move down. He's just being defensive with the jump. But yeah, they just back it up.
Watch for Necroman. It's got that silver edge now, and I'm not sure if Ninjas and Pyjamas know. They could have been thinking like me, go for SNY in the Lifestealer, but
it makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more standard for them. Yeah. So if you just assume it could be that, yeah, you wouldn't check again.
Do Bloodstone up for Sing Sing after the Orchid. Big item pick up there with the Aghanims as well as the Witch Doctor. I think Burden United have hit like a kind of peak of strength that is going to dominate the mid game for the next 15 minutes.
Yes, they need to find the openings. They can't just sit back and wait for it. In fact, they're not going to. No. So it's an infest up. They smoke up together. Roshan's still another 1 minute away from potential spawn time, so they're perfectly alright to try and take this fight. The question is, where are they? using static remnants to try and find the positioning of NiP. And NiP,
What was that?
I don't know, he just TP'd back to... He TP'd back to base after the rest of the team smoked up. Again, Come With Me is the one they initiate on. The Sing Sing jumps up and they find Era. They want him controlled, and well, goodbye to him. That was the passive removal on him, and that is just tearing him apart. The Armblast might have connected, but the damage will continue to be done. Axe is running himself out of here, but he can't run fast enough. They'll move into Seal Kid, who decided to rejoin the team after buying up that gem to give the gem back over again. This is an absolute disaster. It's not even an appropriate word. What's worse than a disaster, Cap? A catastrophe. It's a catastrophe is what it is.
Burn United can now go uphill, take a tower. Honestly, I think Ninjas and Pyjamas, it's not possible to come back after a wipe like that. They're going to lose a lane of Rags. They just had to hope to play defense and make Burn United make a mistake when they try to push uphill, but a bad time for them to try and smoke up and push out. They got into that like clutch staircase area that they can't fight through, and of course the Witch Doctor getting that ultimate out. You can't fight against the Death Ward.
And how smart is this from BU? You take one set of racks, they're coming back up. Don't try and force the issue any further, because then potentially you could lose Roshan and you can give an advantage. In fact, wow, GG, well played. They decide to just call it right now. Ninjas in Pyjamas will be the first team eliminated from the D2CL, and I think, Cap, today Rares were lost.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, today and yesterday with the upset of Empire over Vici Gaming, but Burn United, if there was going to be any sort of upset, I think that we flagged this one as the most likely. NiP versus Burn United. I think both Empire and Vici Gaming looked just too strong and too